today. I'm so freaking proud of all the Australians. I'm so freaking proud of all the freedom fighters out there. We have just had reports of over 200,000 people marching in Melbourne. It is mind blowing. And for every one person that shows up, they represent at least another 10 people that give a shit. And that is huge. And so I'm so super proud of everybody out there right now. Super proud of everybody watching this now and later on. And I am very excited to introduce you to the next speaker. The next speaker is one of my most favorite people in the world. I've known Kat for a very, very long time. Kat is phenomenal in so many ways. She's extremely successful. She's an author, speaker. She absolutely kills the online space. But more importantly, she's a freaking good person and a good freedom fighter. And I'm really, really, really proud to introduce you to her today. So without further ado, welcome Kat Loterzo to the Global Freedom Rally.
Hey, hello. I'm so excited to be here. I'm just so pumped with what you're doing and the energy and the power and the, can I say fuck yesery? Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
The fuck yesery of what everyone is sharing here, and just, yeah, really honored to get to add to the conversation.
Look, I had to ask you, I mean, again, our relationship, we've known each other a very long time. We train together. We have lots of talks, lots of passionate and heated discussions about politics and things that are taking place. So I had to get you up here to spread the light, because you are never one to shy away from a fight or speak your truth. In fact, you do this every single day, and which is one of the reasons why I respect you so much. So I am very happy to have you on, and I want to say a big thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. And, you know, I'm like you, and I'm going to take a bet and guess every single person watching here, where I just don't have it in me to keep silent about truth, whether it's something that's purely relevant to myself and my business or my family and my little world, or whether it's on a bigger scale. And there's certainly been times where I've felt stuff coming out of me that I'm like, don't do it, don't do it, don't freaking say that on the internet. Oh, she's gonna say it. Okay. And I almost feel like there's these two parts of me. So I guess, you know, I love that about you, and I so deeply honor and respect that in you and the other freedom fighters who are here, and those who've come along to listen and to learn, you know, and to be further inspired and rallied. Obviously, that's what a rally is, to rally you from the inside, to really stand up for what you know is true, and to let that fire inside of you out. And obviously the conversation that we are here for today is very much around what's going on in the world, but it speaks to so much more than that. And that's, you know, that's what I'm excited to talk about, really activating that part of you who stands up for truth, whether it is in your own little bubble in your immediate world, or whether it's on a bigger scale, if that's what you're here to do in some way, shape or form, which I certainly believe that we all are in our different ways. And to understand that the fundamentals are the same, that what it comes down to fundamentally is, are you going to move forward in life living from that core of you, no matter the so-called fallout, because you're going to understand that the fallout of not doing so is infinitely greater and more terrifying than anything that you think the world could throw at you.
I love that. I love that. And that's exactly what the world needs right now. So without further ado, I'm not going to hold you back from the world any longer. Everybody, this is Kat Loterzo. Take the stage.
All right. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, everyone, for joining here, whether you are here live, which is so exciting to know that I'm just here in the energy and the badassery of so many freedom fighters, or whether you're catching this on the replay. Either way, I really just trust that I've got something here that's going to speak to your soul and your heart, and it's going to activate that fire inside of you and give you that plugging in, that access cord to the part of you that naturally, automatically, inherently lives for what is true within you. Now, there's so many incredible speakers, I don't have to tell you, who are going into the ins and outs on the political side of things, or the medical side of things, or the legal side of things. My God, I've never seen such an incredible lineup as what Andy's created, and it's just such a testament to his belief, his passion, and what kind of man he is. Just all the respect for Andy. I didn't want to come on here today and directly try and add my 2 cents on medical or legal or political areas where I'm not, you know, the person with the greatest level of expertise here. What I felt I would do is I would go, into the core of what I'm really about and speak to that from a perspective of how it impacts you as an individual in your life, and in turn, obviously, how that potentially impacts you standing up for truth in this current world that we live in. Now, you might be watching from anywhere around the world. I know we have people tuning in internationally, and I certainly don't know every different thing that's happening in every different country. Like many of us, I've got, like ideas and things that I notice and that I see, and oh my gosh, and is that true? And, we're all doing our best to run things through a filter of really just connecting to truth. And so that's what I wanted to speak to you about, because here's what I think as I look around. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by so many incredible humans, many of whom are here today and who I know are watching, where in my immediate circles, in my personal life, in real life here on the Gold Coast of Australia, as well as in my immediate circles through my digital business, my coaching brand online, and just, people I know all over, I'm connected with so many people who see the truth. I know that I'm speaking today to people, and this might include you, who are not necessarily surrounded and given fortitude and strength to the level that I am, or that Andy, or that many of us here are, by those who are around you. And perhaps, like I also do, perhaps you look at people out there, whether it's online or it's in your real immediate community, and you just think to yourself, are you kidding me? What's happening here? Am I the one that's going, am I crazy? Like, do people actually think the things that they seem to think? Do people actually believe the things that they seem to believe? And then, if they're actually that, whatever, you can insert your word of choice. Let's just go with unaware. Let's be nice about it for the time being, just for a moment. If they're that unaware to the truth of what's going on, then what do I do about it? So I thought I'd come along here today and I'd speak from that place of what you do about it. Not, like I said, in a legal sense or a political sense, well, not politically, but as an individual and as a human. And here's where it starts, because if you think about the people who whether you know them closely or not, who have their eyes closed and are asleep to this, they come from all walks of life, just as those of us who are awake and who know the truth and see what's going on, even though we don't fully understand it, and there's things that we may never understand. If you know. And what you'll notice is we come from all walks of life. It doesn't matter what your background is, your demographic, what side of the tracks you grew up on, what side of the tracks you're on now. Like, I just had these incredible fired up passion conversations with all sorts of people. Some are wildly successful entrepreneurs, and I certainly have plenty of badasses like that in my space. Some are not remotely entrepreneurs. Some are in industries or fields or ways of living that I personally could never understand, but yet we're all on the same page. So what is it that separates, those of us that just see, whether we immediately saw or whether we, as all this started to unfold, kind of went like, whoa, something inside of me just doesn't feel right about this. And, I've spoken to so many people who were fully just on board or didn't think at first to question what they were being told in the media or by their community or by the government. And then bit by bit, well, it starts with this feeling, doesn't it? It's this thing inside of you that just goes, I don't think so. And then, like I said, depending on who you're surrounded with, you might not necessarily have a lot of people you could talk to about it. And so then it makes you feel even more like, maybe I'm the crazy one. And even for those of us who are surrounded by others who think like we do, we still have these conversations like, is this for real? But what you're responding to is this core, like this something that throbs inside of you. And it's a beacon, and it's a light, and it's a fucking red flag and a whistle and all the things. And what it's saying to you is, hey, knock, knock, hello, there's something here for you. There's something to turn to. There's something to pay attention to. There's something to learn here. And that can be incredibly uncomfortable, confronting, scary, all the things. Now, when you think about those people who maybe you want to know how to impact or reach, and it might be that you just wish you could get through to someone in your family or your friendship circle. It might be that you've had disruption in some of your relationships. It might be relevant to employment status, or it might be that you too, like so many people here, see yourself on a platform and speaking and impacting on that higher level. Even for those of us like myself who have a platform, a large platform, and are visible through what we've created in business and life, we still need to know how to be in this stance such that our message effectively gets through to people, such that we're not just repeating amongst a circle of ourselves that we all know that we know, and like, oh, patting ourselves on the back for being so aware. And obviously the people who are here for bigger conversations than that. It certainly gets you fired up to have a conversation like that with a friend or somebody you know. Andy and I, like he mentioned, we work out together from time to time, and we're just in this kind of fueled up adrenaline fiery conversation, and that's great. But what happens when you go outside of the gym or you go outside of that conversation? How do you impart your message? Now, I deliberately chose to pull out a t-shirt that I haven't worn since about 2016 that says, "No, I will not calm down, and you can fuck off." And I wore this t-shirt a lot, maybe 5 years ago, and I was just so in my, fiery aggression about my truth and my message at the time. And sometimes these days I think I'm not that fiery, and I'm not necessarily, people who know me probably laugh at that, and I'm not necessarily going to go out there and beat people over the head on the internet with what I think is true. And so I want you to connect into that part of you where you naturally already understand how to deal with this shit. That's what I'm here to impart to you today. And it's not something I'm actually imparting to you because it's already inside of you. So it's something I'm helping you to remember, to release, to revive perhaps, to activate, and to light a motherfucking fire under within you. This is something that already exists in you. When you think of all those people you know, if you know them, if you're fortunate to do so, and now you're here amongst it in your house, you do now, you think of all those people who know truth and see truth, whether or not they can articulate it. Truth is something that's felt. It's a fire that can't be put out. This is why we say things to each other like, once you know, or I can't unknow, or, we might use less than gracious comments from time to time when we're talking about people who don't see the truth, but then we maybe pull ourselves up a bit or kind of shrug and like, well, the truth of the matter is, they just don't see. They don't see what they can't see, but they're like, okay, but why can't they see? How is this possible? Well, every human out there has that fire of truth inside of them. I believe that the reason that certain amongst us have seen this stuff for what it is from relatively early on or at any point in the journey, and have then actively gone out there and sought to educate ourselves, inform ourselves, do our due diligence as best as we can, surround ourselves with experts to fill in those gaps where, we're certainly not the person who has that knowledge, and so on and so forth, is because what we're doing is we're seeking to bit by bit add these little embers and coals and dry leaves and whatnot to the fire inside of us, because that truth once activated can't be not known. Now, many of the people who saw this shit for what it was from the start, I don't have to tell you, are people who live in truth in their lives. There's no coincidence about the fact that the vast percentage of humans who see what's going on to varying degrees are people who take care and attend to their life in a way that's in accordance with their values. And of course, as I mentioned, that is manifested, or it looks, wildly different from person to person in terms of what they've created, but they're living intentionally. They're living in accordance with their values. I don't mean they're perfect humans. None of us are, but they're people who've intentionally, repeatedly made choices that are not comfortable, not popular, not making sense a lot of the time, supposedly, yet it's responding to that beat inside of them. And it's great when we can come together and we can join to grow that beat within each of us and to grow that fire and to be amongst like-minded folks. But what we really must do, what our mission is, what each of us individually are required and being called for right now, and this is a responsibility. This is not something that's nice. This is not even just something that's about whether or not you personally want to. You know this. You know it in the same way that you can't not know any of the stuff that you know. There is a responsibility for you to be living your life right now more than ever in such a way that the truth beating inside of you, that fire, that flame, that no, I will not calm down and you can fuck off aggression if it goes into that place, from truth from time to time, that is able to come out of you and reach others directly or indirectly through one individual conversation or through a worldwide platform in a way that is effective, because this is what is required right now. Now, on the one hand, I have a belief that those who are called, they can't not hear the call at some point and they can't not answer the calling. And this is in business, this is in life, and this is certainly in this stuff, yeah? So I'm talking big picture conceptually. But for each of us who've answered a call in our life, There have been pivotal people along the way, and generally many of them, who have given us something through what they said, and often through just how they live their life, how they embody being them. And it gives us that reassurance, that kick up the butt, that added fuel to the fire inside of us to give us the strength to go on our way. I was speaking with a good friend a couple of days ago about this and this resistance and this fight, and speaking about how so many people out there just don't have friends, family members surrounding them to support them and carry them along. And there's not really anyone or not many people they can talk to about this. And I said to my friend, I said, I like to think that nothing would sway me if I was not surrounded by so many incredible friends and leaders and humans and clients who think this way and who get it. I like to think that I would be steadfast in my beliefs, and I believe that I would be, but I can't really speak to it because I am surrounded by it. But at what point was it that I somehow got lucky to be surrounded by this? Or at what point was it that I intentionally, bit by bit, followed that beat inside of me? So much so that not only did I magnetically, of course, attract in the people who align with my way of doing all areas of life, but that additionally to that, the fire inside of me spewed forth like the motherfucking volcano it does need to be on this topic, in such a way that people couldn't not listen. You are not going to get results going out into your community, into your family, in your relationship if relevant, my goodness, in your client base, in the online platform that you already have underway or that you know you're here to start to rise towards. You are not going to make a difference and create a movement and create momentum if you are trying to educate people, tell them why they're wrong, insist on why you're right, etc. And gosh, I've certainly been in that, I've had those shoes on my feet from time to time where I'm in the ego, I'm right sort of vibe. And so we're all going to be human. But ultimately, here's how you make your difference. Yes, you keep learning. You put yourself in the freaking room that you know you need to be in, and well done on doing that today. I applaud you for investing this time, this energy, this focus in yourself. It's an incredible thing that you're doing to be here. And then I know you're going to go and share this. And I know you're going to take that breath of courage to share it with the people that you may be scared to share it with. And maybe you're just going to do so in a way that's not like you have to listen to this because of whatever. But just, hey, this really moved me, or hey, this really ignited something within me, or hey, I know there's a lot here that's quite, controversial or whatever, or that, I'm definitely thinking about some of these things I thought you might like to see, or just share it with nothing said, or, get your fiery t-shirt on and post pictures of it everywhere. Maybe all of the above, hey? So whether you're doing it that way, sharing something, whether you're sharing your thoughts, posting what you think, asking, questions that sort of stir things a little bit, or you're a bit like myself where from time to time something just comes over you and it just comes out exactly the way you think it, no matter how quote unquote unprofessional or inappropriate it is. Honestly, I recommend it highly. Rip the band-aid and show the world who you are. It's so much easier and more fun to be who you really are. But the way that you will impact people with this message or any other message that you're here to impact people with is so simple. I'm going to give you the simplest recipe ever for success, any success, truly, but I'm speaking to success in terms of you being able to make the difference that you're here to make in this fight, this resistance, this critical movement, is you being plugged into your truth in such a way that you simply cannot live against it, including how you breathe, how you walk, how you talk, what you say, what you don't say, what you show, what you demonstrate. It is your embodiment of truth that most greatly impacts others. The most powerful moments in our lives are not where we remember necessarily the exact thing that was said or what was going on in the room, maybe. But so much of the time, the moments that change our lives, it's because of how we felt in that person's presence, in their energy, whilst reading their book, whilst watching how they live, what they choose, what they don't choose. As you continue forward on your journey, you may or may not be speaking publicly on this topic, but you will be in rooms. You'll be at dinners. You'll be having drinks. You'll be listening to conversations. You'll have a neighbor or someone in the grocery store or wherever make a little offhand joke or a comment about different ways that people have accepted their freedoms being taken away, and you get to choose. Do I say nothing? Do I laugh? Do I submit? It's not that big of a deal. I'll just do the thing. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to rock the boat. Here's the deal. You know truth. When you know truth, you can't not know it. It's a gift. See it as the gift that it is. It is a responsibility. Every single time you feel that come through you, you know, knock, 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 time to say something, time to stand up, time to not laugh that little thing off, time to add your comment, to add your thought. It's not through beating people over the head with truth that we are going to create change. It is through the fact that in the small moments, you stand up for what's true. One little seed adds to another little seed that someone hears from someone else, and then they see something, and then they see something, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and bit by bit, it tips another person over to where snap, their eyes open, and then another, and then another, and this is how a revolution is built. It is not built by going into people's homes or businesses or anywhere and trying to drag them to the fight. Good fucking luck. That's not how it works. It's embodiment. It's your embodiment of truth. And so this is about your integrity. It is about your intentional feeding of what's inside of you. And it's about you deciding right now in this moment to make a commitment to yourself that you will not be silent. That when you are led to say something in the smallest of moments, you will say it. That you will not keep your mouth closed. You will not laugh it off. You will not sit quietly in your chair with your head bowed because you don't want to be the one person who's whatever. That's not who you are. You didn't come here for that. Many people watching today are entrepreneurs, creators, leaders, whether or not you're living into that. Well, guess what? Now is your time. You're being called. It's not just about you. Get over yourself. It is about something so much bigger and beyond you. And I'm telling you, if you on a separate but pretty relevant note to this, with the way the world's going, we all need more and more to learn different ways of creating an income and, feeding and sustaining ourselves and being able to help in community and so on. If you have any desire for greater business flow, money flow, impact of a message that for you perhaps is, like going over many different topics, as is true for myself and so many others, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'd be surprised if I'm the only person here this weekend to use that expression. So don't get out there and say that you're living authentically in your business or in how you do your relationship or in how you take care of your body and that you're a person of whatever when you continue to keep your mouth zipped in those small little moments. But know this as well. Here's the most incredible, powerful thing. It comes out of you, whether or not you like it. Sometimes we don't like it. Sometimes we wish we could just be asleep and go work in a bookstore on the beach. We all have those little moments like, sometimes it would be easier to not know. It is what it is. You are who you are. Why don't you make a commitment today to go all in, harder, faster, more relentlessly, and with absolute soul-led, integrity-based and back determination that from this moment forward in every different area of business, life, finances, relationships, community, you name it, you are the person who not only says, small or big or anything in between, but who simply through how they live, breathe, and do life, embodies motherfucking truth. When you be that light who you came here to be, when you remain plugged into your core source, plugged into life itself, plugged into your soul, plugged into the educational and inspirational and informative and entertaining places, that you need to be plugged into, then it comes out of you. People see it, they feel it, they notice, there's something different about that person. And maybe at first, in some cases, they're going to mock you or sack you or kick you out or not like you or just think that you're the one who's deluded or whatever else. But people can't not see truth in the end. That's what this conversation is about. We make fun of sometimes, or we have dismay over or despair, or we're so confused. Honestly, confusion is probably the biggest thing I feel. How can people not see? But let's just remember that every human has truth inside of them. So for those of us who have come here to Earth and come here to this rally this weekend to be a beacon of truth, that is the most powerful thing you can do to make a difference. There might be other specific things that you're led to do as well, and you can go and do those. But it starts and it ends with a foundation of truth. I'm seeing all these epic comments coming in on the chat, and I'm not saying them though. I'm just saying comment. So I know Andy's going to jump on at some point and potentially ask me a couple of questions. or something like that. But this is what I wanted to share with you today. I want to remind you to be connected to what is true for you. And I want to finally ask you today, are you willing to join me, to join Andy, to join every other person here, and just say yes? Yes inside of you. Amen into the comments if you want. Why not? But just say yes inside of you. Commitment. You didn't just come here to learn. You didn't just come here to be fired up on stuff you already talk about or think about all day long. You came here because you actually want to make change. Commit to it. You don't need to know how it's going to happen. You don't need to know how you're going to have the courage or the strength or the right words. All you have to do is say yes. Say yes.
Be the change you want to see in the world. And that's exactly what you do every single day, Kat. I absolutely love it. Hey, Chris, do you want to show us some of these comments that are coming up? There's people giving shout outs to Kat and everything that's taking place here. Awesome.
Hey, Dave. Awesome.
Mel B.
Hey, Mel.
We've got some awesome people on there. Huge thank you to everybody watching. Kat, I've got a few questions for you because it's so important that we look at our lives and we take responsibility. Now, you have been doing this for a very long time, probably since you were 12 years old selling lemonade by the side of the road. But I think a lot of people now...
But yeah.
You've always been an entrepreneur. I love that.
Yeah.
But I think people right now need to understand that taking responsibility not only for their thoughts and their point of view, but also their financial situation, their businesses, the direction, their career. There's people losing their jobs. There is people literally getting kicked out of careers that they've had their whole lives because of these mandates and things that are taking place. What message do you have for the people out there right now that have just lost their job? Maybe they've lost their business and they're needing to, of course, look in a new direction and make a comeback.
Yeah. Well, this is something where through my coaching business, we help entrepreneurs, artists, creators who are the rebel born for more ones who just can't stop, won't stop until they build the life that they know is inside of them and who know they can do it on their terms. So we've been doing this for about 16 years online through my digital coaching brand. And many people come along every single year and always have before the pandemic as well, for sure, who are just done with living that normal life. And that was always me since as far as I can remember. It was just, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to find a different way. So here's what I would say to you, whether you want to come along and check out the stuff that I have online or so many other amazing entrepreneurs, creators and artists who are here today with a message that can actually help you to create true money results, to free yourself from the quote unquote system, just to make it, say it in an easy way. Wherever you're going to go and learn, here's what it starts and ends with. You choosing to trust and back yourself that you can create a different result. And for years now, I've been teaching brand new entrepreneurs as well as entrepreneurs and leaders and messengers who have a business already up into the multiple 7 figures per year. The fundamentals are the same, regardless of where somebody's at. So even if you're brand new starting out, sure, there might be tech things to learn and other things to learn if you want to jump into digital business, but gosh, what a great time to be able to find awesome places to learn. The fundamentals, however, are always at any level going to be the way you choose to see yourself and the way you choose to see what's available to you and your relentless mindset. So I say to everyone at every point, there's 4 key things that any entrepreneur needs to non-negotiably do every single day in order to create success. And if you're brand new starting out, leaving that world and you have no freaking clue where to start, my goodness, these 4 things every day. Number 1, get your mindset plugged in. Find just a few people, doesn't have to be tons, who you can just listen to their live streams. I go live many times a week typically, and I'm just going to rant and ramble about all sorts of things, but I'm going to give you solid gold as well. Many other people here doing the same. So mindset, get yourself plugged in. Audios, live streams, follow me, follow others on IG, listen to the stuff we say on our stories each day. And, write down your journaling, your visioning, your goals, your dreaming. Start to just believe. You don't need to know how. Believe you can create it. Number 2, particularly in these times, is going to be you communicating and being in a conversation. A digital brand of any kind, regardless of what you're selling, communication is going to be part of it, your message. So that means sharing with people the things that you think they need to hear, regardless how uncomfortable it makes you feel. I can certainly help you know how to get over that and do it. So sharing what people need to hear. Number 3, if you're a business and you want to make money, you want a business that makes money, you're going to have to sell. So the third thing every day is selling. guess what? If you had to, if your life was on the line, you could freaking figure out how to sell something today. And your life is not on the line right now today, perhaps, but gosh, it's never been more than ever that feels accurate for a lot of people. And then finally, fourth and foremost, non-negotiable for entrepreneurs, take care of yourself. Fitness inside and out is just something that you cannot be available not to take care of. You do these 4 things every day in and day out. Just imagine where you're going to be even 6 months from now.
I love it. So true. And this is what we need to hear more of right now, because a lot of people, whether they are leaving careers or they had their business absolutely smashed, etc., are looking right now to rebuild, re-energize, and focus on something new. And again, it's tips like that is absolutely going to do it for them. Kat, you are a huge inspiration to so many across the world. This is why I had to have you speak at the Global Freedom Rally. Where can our viewers see more of you, and what the hell is going on in your life over the next few weeks and months?
Thank you. I never fully know exactly what's going on. I just know it's going to be badass. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fire and flow and gold. I am a content creator in one of my businesses, which is my digital coaching brand. We sell courses and programs and workshops to entrepreneurs, messengers, and rebels all around the world. And there's hundreds of those. So I never can really sit here and say, oh, I'll be selling this or I'll be doing that, or don't know. Like, the best thing to do, if you resonate and you feel that you would want to hear or learn more from me, I teach a lot on the mindset of being who you're meant to be, as I did today. For me, it's about, I just want to activate people to be who they're meant to be, because then they will go forth and do what they're meant to do, whether or not I teach them. I do teach quite a lot on the practical side of online business as well. My digital coaching brand, we've created over $20 million received online so far, and helped many incredible entrepreneurs around the same to become millionaires and beyond online. And not everyone wants to be a millionaire, but I tell you what, when you got a message to share with the world and something that's inside of you, it often does go hand in hand to make a lot of money with. So we certainly show you how to do that from a place of being fully you. You can check out my stuff at thekatrinaruthshow.com, but please just come and follow me on social, on Insta at The Katrina Ruth Show, or on Facebook under Katrina Ruth. Best place to see what's up.
I love it. I love it. And it's so important right now, because there is no freedom if you cannot take care of yourself and your family. You are going to be the victim, unfortunately, to the dole, the government, etc., etc. And that is not what we want. We need you to be free, and we need you to be able to speak your truth. Kat, I want to say a big thank you. You are incredible. We love you. Go follow Kat on Instagram. Go check out all her stuff on her website. Again, a huge thank you for being a part of the Global Freedom Rally.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you, everyone.